Hey folks, welcome to another Broken Meeple review, and today it's a short little game from Cosmos called The Crew, The Quest for Planet 9. Why the subtitle, I have no idea. But basically, this was a weird one. I mean, I'd never heard of this game before it got mentioned to me. I thought like, what's this? I have no idea what it is. But suddenly I just heard nothing but buzz about it. Everybody went crazy. It's like, The Crew, have you got The Crew? Crew, I have Crew in my pocket. Do you want to play it? I've got The Crew. You want The Crew? And it's just like, seriously, what's so great about this? Although, to be fair, Cosmos games, small boxes, that's already a pretty, like, you know, good bar set high type deal, because Cosmos make a lot of good little small box games. But I just thought, what on earth is this? And so I didn't recognize, like, you know, what the, you know, who the designer was and things like that. I just thought, okay, tell me, what is this Crew about? Well, it's a trick-taking game. Uh-oh. Not normally a theme I desperately go for, but okay. And then people were drawing comparisons to the mind. Double uh-oh. It's like, if, just about the mind. Stupid game, stupid trash, garbage. Suffice to say, it didn't sit well with me. So I was like, oh god, you know, what is this going to be like? You know, is it going to do the task? Well, this is a trick-taking co-op game. Okay, you brought it back up a little bit for me there. And the idea with this is that you are all trying to pass these missions, and it's a campaign game. Enough with the campaigns, people. Seriously, I mean, a trick-taking campaign game? Come on. But you can play them standalone, so you don't have to do it in order. You know, I think that's a gimmick. Just basically pick a mission based on difficulty rating and go with it. But the idea is that each of you has to complete tricks in standard trick style. So the whole play a card, must follow the suit. There's a couple of trumps a few trumps in there that will win the hand. Highest number wins the hand, that kind of thing. Very basic trick-taking rules. But you have to complete certain elements in the game in order to win. It's not just a case of, oh, we complete a bunch of tricks. No, people are going to win tricks. But as you go through the difficulty rating, you have certain tasks to complete. The task will usually require you to get a certain card in a trick. So somebody must win a trick with the free blue. And somebody must win a trick with yellow 9. Okay, but that sounds pretty straightforward. What's the big deal? Because it sets these restrictions and parameters on you, such as you must do this one first, then this one second, and then this one third. Or you have to do this one before you do this one, before you do this one. Or this one has to be last. Or this player must get it. Or, you know, you cannot do certain actions while you're trying to get this one. There's lots of different restrictions it can put on you. And as you go through the difficulty ratings, it really puts a lot of restrictions on you. And there's a lot of tasks in general as you go through the difficulties. But players pick a task before the game starts. And it does it from the leader and goes in order. So each player has different tasks in front of them. They are the ones that have to win their cards. So it's like, right, so we got to work together to make certain that these players win these specific tricks. Again, that doesn't sound too difficult. Why do they draw comparisons to the mind? You can't speak. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is one of those silent games where you play cards in the tricks, but you're not allowed to speak. Is this going to be a repeat of the mind? Or could this actually win me over? Let's go into more detail. So, duration, this is super, super fast. I mean, a basic mission at the start can take you less than 5 minutes. It's that fast. You're talking maybe 10 to 15 to do some of the harder ones. But again, this is a very quick game. The box cover says 20 minutes. That's pretty accurate. You know, the hardest of difficulties, including teaching a game, would probably set you back half an hour. Tops. Absolute tops. But to just get into it and teach new players and do like a semi-easy one should take you no more than 20 minutes. This is a very quick game. It is a filler length through and through. Pick up and play. It depends on your on your experience with trick taking. People who know how to do trick taking like I do will pick this up in no problem at all. But if you're brand new to trick taking, and believe me, I have played this with people who have never seen a trick taking game in their life, not even trumps, you know, they're going to take a little bit longer to learn it. And they have to sort of grasp some of those concepts. Again, simplest trick-taking rules here, not anymore. But yeah, 20 minutes, super fast, can't fault that at all. Ease of play, as I was kind of saying, if you're familiar to trick-taking, you should be able to pick this up quite well. The rules in here are actually fairly well written. I mean, the rulebook is not particularly huge, although Mine got a little bit crumpled in the mail, which is kind of weird because it was a sealed box. I'm not sure on product quality there. But the rulebook looks bigger than it is. Well, only half of this book is the actual rules. So there's only about this much worth of rules. And, you know, it is fairly text heavy though. That's the only thing. There's some pictorial examples, but for the most part it's text, but it's pretty straightforward text. It really is not that difficult a game to learn. The reason the other half of the book is there is because it's a logbook for all the different missions. It gives you some, frankly, pointless flavor text, but then it goes into detail as to what, like, the tasks are, you know, what the restrictions are, that kind of thing. And so you can tick them off as you make attempts and basically track your campaign progress. But yeah, the game is not difficult to learn. You should be able to pick this game up and read through the rules in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes max. And at that point, you should be pretty confident to teach the game to, you know, anywhere up to the 5-player count that it says on the box. Pretty straightforward. So tactics and strategy, this is where it's going to be a make or break for some. Because yes, it is a bit like the mind. You can't speak. So, you know, when you're playing the tricks, you have to play the card and you can't make like, no. You know, you can't make gestures or weird things or like, I'll put down my 5 yellow.
Subtle.
No, it's like, you know, you can't do that. So thinking like, well, how on earth does anybody know what they should be playing in? You kind of have to figure it out from the cards themselves. And that is where this actually elevates itself above the mind. Because in the mind, it frankly just feels like guesswork. And there's going to be people out there who go on and make articles about the strategic brilliance of the mind. No. Wrong! Come on, guys. No, just no. But, you know, with that one, it just feels random. You know, it's like, I put down my 38. How on earth does anybody know that somebody else doesn't have the 39 if they've got the 40? They don't. They can hover around for as long as they like, but you don't truly know anything. You know, you can make a guess, but most of that game is basically just guesswork. I hate the mind. Don't get worked up. Don't get worked up. But with this one, because there's 9 in the suit and only 4 trumps, you can game the system a bit more. With the cards that are being played out being public information, you can see what cards remain in a particular suit. And that allows you to make decent, educated guesses or educated ideas as to what cards you should think about playing, particularly as the tasks that you are trying to get are public information as well. On top of that, there is a semi-communication aspect where you are allowed to play a card from your hand face up for everyone to see and put a token on it to say whether it is your highest, lowest, or the only one that you have. And this is critical information. You need this, particularly if somebody has got the card that they need for the task, not a recommended move, but still, you know, the card that they need or card that's very important in their hand and to reveal it. You only get to do it once each though, so you got to be very sparing with it. But this communication is key to working out some of the strategic elements to it. And yeah, other than that, not a lot of talking, not a lot of interaction, which is a bit of a problem. But I like the fact that you can game this system better than, say, the mind, or the game even. You know, this one just, there were times where I'm thinking to myself, I gotta play this card, but hang on a minute, why has he told me that? You know, or why didn't he tell me this? And then you're looking at the rest of the cards thinking, well, a lot of the low ones have gone. There's a good chance you haven't got a higher one to beat this one, and I need to win this trick. Could I do it? And you still get a bit of that tension of like, do I do it? Do I not? Oh, I'm going to mess up the game if I do, because one failure and the game loses, so you've got to get it right all the time. And it's a very healthy amount of tension. You know, I would have liked for more speech. I would have liked there to be a bit more player interaction. But this one just feels like you can actually work the system. Yeah, there's going to be occasions, though, where you get dealt a situation where you physically cannot win. That's a bit of a bummer. But at least once you realise that, you just scrap and go again. I mean, a lot of these higher difficulty ones, you are going to need multiple attempts because they are hard. Oh my god, you want to challenge this? It's a challenge. I mean, even some of the lower difficulties will hurt you and possibly beat you in some cases as you're learning the ropes. And luck can just be a dick sometimes, you know? It's like luck can just be a pain. So you have to accept this. But all in all, I like the tactical play in this. You know, you can't have a strategy per se, but you can think on the fly and make these decisions in better ways, particularly with those added bits of communication, as well as knowing what tasks are coming up. So all in all, not bad for a 20-minute filler. So, aesthetics, yeah, I mean, what do you want? It's a trick-taking game. You've basically got a bunch of mini cards with the suits on it, you've got the big cards with the suits on it, and I'm glad, although maybe they could have made it slightly bigger cards, but never mind. The artwork is decent enough, it's colourful, it does the trick, no pun intended, but it's basically just a bunch of suit cards of different colours, and they look nice enough, but it's not exactly screaming artwork here. I mean, the planet on the back is nice, and, like I say, I'll take some colour, I'll take some effort, but it's a trick-taking game. It's simplistic. You get a few little tokens, to mark the tasks, and they're pretty basic. They're pretty just chintzy components. A tiny little standee for your, cardboard standee for your, like, who's the leader. But yeah, it's not much in the way of aesthetics. I mean, it comes in a titchy little box like so, and when I got my copy, this was bent and crumpled up like somebody had basically screwed it up and thrown it in the bin and then straightened it out again, yet it was a shrink wrap box. I wonder if anybody else had that problem. But yeah, it's fine. It does the job, but it's a trick-taking game where you're really expecting it to look gorgeous. Immersion of theme, again, not a lot in this one. I mean, the theme is non-existent. This whole The Crew, Planet of Nine, and campaign, that it tells you flavor text and tries to tell a semi-story on the missions, but frankly, do you care? It's a trick-taking game. You are doing tricks with cards. There is nothing in these tricks that means anything to do with space exploration. It's not really going to make you think, ooh, space theme, I'm going to make Spaceball references and stuff while I play this game. No. And it doesn't help that there is little to no interaction. You're thinking about what the other players are doing, which immerses you in it, but that's more tactics that's immersing you in this, not the theme. And certainly not the player interaction, because again, you don't talk. And as much as these games are popular with some people, I'm okay with one person not talking. The whole Mysterium thing of, I am the ghost, I can't talk, but I'm still doing stuff. And, I can still wisecrack and still make comments. But these games where you're not allowed to talk at all, it's not really bringing out the atmosphere among the party group, is it? It's not like kind of bringing out joy. It's more just, we're all doing our thing, silence, this is serious. Doesn't go for me. Longevity, this one should actually last you a good while, actually, because yes, you can run through the campaign, but frankly, why would you? Unless you've got a dedicated group who's going to play this religiously, you're not going to do the campaign. You need like a group of 4 of you to play through 50 games. And that's 50 if you succeed at them all. Some of these are going to take you some attempts. Some of them, I swear, are damn near impossible. But again, challenge. Why not? But yeah, forget the whole thing about campaign mode. Just basically pick one. You've got 50 different variations to pick from. Go with it. Granted, the first 5 to 10 are kind of pointless. Certainly the first 5 are. It's like, first mission, you have 2 tasks. That's it. Second mission, you have 3 tasks. Fourth mission, you have 2 tasks, and they must be done in 1 and 2. It's like really small increments here, guys. You really want to start getting to about 15 plus, and then you get into some of the more meaty stuff. But there's plenty of options here for you. Goes from 3 to 5 players. The player scaling is a bit problematic here because it goes from 3 to 5, but 5, and it even acknowledges this in the rulebook, is expert mode. Like, it is hard to win this with 5 players. This really feels to me like a 3 and 4 player game, and I think it plays fantastically at 3. Compared to the other player counts. 3 just super fast, there's enough discussion, you got enough cards in your hand to make some choices about, do I throw this away, do I follow suit with this, can I throw away a green here? 3 players I just think works best. 4 is still good, but ups the difficulty a bit. 5 is just too many. I think it drags the game out a bit too long. It just makes some of the scenarios really hard, if not impossible. And frankly, I think that they literally just put 5 on the box because it's like, no reason it can't do 5. Let's just sell more copies. Cash grab! Cash grab! That's kind of the way it is. But they just didn't want to make this a 3 to 4 player game only. Interestingly, they didn't put a 2-player variant in here or a solo mode. That is different, I'll give them that. I was expecting this to be like there's a dummy player, 2-player rule. But no, they just straight up say, doesn't do 2 players. So sorry, if you're a couple, sucks to be you. But I live alone, so sucks to be me, really. But no solo mode either, in fact. So 3 to 5 players, I think this will give you, for the money, bear in mind this costs you what, like £13 tops to buy in the shops at the moment. For a 20-minute filler, it's got a good amount of replay value. I mean, I could even argue that this could have been in my teens for my recent top 10 high replay value video. You get a decent amount of value in here if you're enjoying the game because you've got all those different variations, and frankly, you could just design your own. Just put some tasks out and just say, I want to use all these tasks. If there's not a mission here already for it, then make one up. What does it matter? You know, go nuts, I'd say. So my final word on The Crew is, whereas it's not the most exciting game out there, it should be commended for trying to take 2 mechanics, cooperation and trick-taking, and merge them together into something that is never been done before. Truly an innovative design, this one I think will win over regular group players who will be able to play through the campaign in its full entirety. For others, particularly those who weren't a fan of the Mind, maybe this won't necessarily swing you over, but for its cheap cost and cheap, short time on the table, what have you got to lose? So The Crew for me gets a decent 7 out of 10. You know, I would actually play this. I will not touch the Mind with a barge pole. I will not touch the game with a barge pole, but I would play this. You know, I might even hang on to it for a while, actually, because it's a small little game and I can teach this to pretty much anybody who knows about trick-taking games. I'm very impressed, I'll admit, with the whole co-op meets trick-taking. Not something that's been done. Again, the merging of old mechanics into something with a twist is pretty decent. I don't think this quite needs the massive buzz that it's got. I mean, people are like heralding this like they heralded the Mine. Like, I mean, if I start seeing this on like top filler game of the year or something, I'll be like, really? But you know, I think this is going to impress a lot of people, and Cosmos regularly puts out decent little box games like this. So I'd say if you're tempted by it, give it a try and see what you think. But of course, you need to be into trick taking and you need to be into co-ops. And also the whole thing about being silent, you know, those 3 things you need to consider. And that will hopefully tell you whether this is the game for you. So I'm going to sign off on my own little space mission, and if you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel, the Patreon, ding the dong, ring the bell, whatever you want to phrase it as. So find me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Please share this video on social media if you can. Get the word out there that the review exists. I'd very much appreciate it. So that's it for me. I'll see you on the next Broken Meeple video, and regardless of whether trick-taking's your thing, co-op's your thing, or whether the Mind drove you insane, it's still only a game. Take care, and I'll see you next time.